Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Rapidash, and as you can see I have 25,000 Stardust. Yeah, this was all my Stardust I had, and yeah, at least we're gonna have now a Rapidash for the Open Ultra League, right? This Pokemon, honestly, I did not really expect too much of it. This Pokemon itself never really saw any play really in the Go Battle League before, and now it gets Wild Charge. Wild Charge, cool move of course, strong move. Very strong move, to be fair. I think it's like 100 damage for 45 energy, of course with the drawback of dropping your own defense, but I was a bit curious about if this Pokemon is actually worth it for this community day. P-Poke says like ranked around the top 60 for the Open Ultra League. It might be a bit better than Typhlosion even for the Open Ultra League, and I was a bit curious about this one because I could not really see it too much. And now I tried this Pokemon out myself, and what can I say? It's so much fun. Like, honestly, this Pokemon is so much fun. I would really recommend you to try this Pokemon out if you have the Stardust. But also, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy this type of content and enjoy me using all my Stardust so you can see if it's actually worth to build a Pokemon. Would really appreciate it. It's going to be free as well for, of course, here to subscribe to the channel and, of course, to also leave that like. But anyway, we're going to have here now 25,000 Stardust, so I'm cannot really build anything else anymore for the Go Battle League right now until I have a bit more, especially as they're going to have some new Pokemon release very soon. I can definitely have to save up a bit for that. Anyway, you're going to have here a team of Clefable in the lead, the Saysop of the Shadow Claw variant of Typhlosion, which I don't know, I think it's still in there. I'm not too sure if it's still in there. There was like one battle where I had this Pokemon with Solar Beam over Thunder Punch just because I didn't even know that I never used it actually with Thunder Punch in the Open Ultra League before. But this thing itself, as a Saysop, was a lot of fun as well. Very cool Pokemon. The team itself worked out super well. I can really recommend you to try it out, and I beat a ton of very well-known battlers of the community here as well in today's video, which you're gonna see there. Some regional winners, people that went to Worlds. All of this is gonna be in here as well today, where Rapidash is going to be able to destroy them all. And so here we're gonna see a matchup where we're actually still gonna get to a blast burn against that opponent's Cresselia. As you're gonna see, the very bulky team from the opponent is going to be fine for our Rapidash, as we're gonna now swap out even into our Clefable, try to do some damage with that Moonblast, and do some damage with it, and now they decide to forfeit this battle. Next opponent, we're going to have basically the worst possible lead that we could encounter. My first team idea actually with this one, I want to have the backline of Rapidash as well as Typhlosion because I kind of want to compare those two with each other. But my first idea here actually for the lead was the Poliwrath, which I then kind of threw away because I kind of want to have a bit of a better matchup against the Giratina. Giratina felt like would have been a bit of a difficult Pokemon to deal with for the backline if you had like the Poliwrath in the lead, even though of course you would have access to the move Icy Wind. But I have not even encountered a single Giratina with this team, so it never really came to fruition. But as you can see here, for example, the opponent's Crocodile would have been definitely getting down a bit faster from that Poliwrath compared to that Clefable. Clefable is still fine, but Clefable still takes quite a lot of damage here and doesn't really do that much with the fast move alone, kind of requiring that you get to a hard-hitting Moonblast, which we're not able to do. And so here the opponent is in a great spot, and yes, I maybe actually got destroyed here by a Crocodile in the Open Ultra League, but this is fine. You cannot win them all. Still really enjoy the spice here, and they have an Excadrill on the back. It is what it is. I basically had triple hard counter to Fire-type Pokemon, where I have 2 Fire-type Pokemon on my team, which is not really ideal. So I do definitely kind of see why we lost this one there. But anyway, we're going to have here now a great lead for us, Virizion, but the opponent does not know that Virizion has basically 0 Pokemon to go up against in this team. We're going to have 2 Fire-type Pokemon and 1 Fairy-type Pokemon against a Grass and Flying-type. That is basically impossible for them to do anything with the Virizion in today's team here, which is going to be great. And so I kind of can freely stay in my elite matchup here. I don't really care too much about this one. And we can even go ahead, use a shield, and go for another Moonblast to try to get the opponent a bit lower or knock them even out here. As, again, I don't really care too much about where my Clefable is going to end up with, because we have answers for that Flying-type Pokemon. But we can swap on down to the Rapidash, trying to get some free fast moves in there. You're going to see the opponent getting up to an Earthquake, which he can shield up, and they are now in a spot where I don't really think they have a choice, because yeah, I don't know, like we have such a great advantage here right now. We can go for 2 more fast moves, would get to another wild charge there, but we can even go for the flame charge and do even more damage. And so look at what the Rapidash is able to do here. Look at the damage output from this Pokemon, and look also at the damage output now, most likely, as the opponent can only go for a Thunder Punch. This should not be enough to knock us out, and so we can even go for a Wild Charge, which does a little bit more damage than the Flame Charge does. And so let's take a look at that damage here. That is quite ridiculous, and we can easily win the battle. I have to say, like, Rapidash was so much fun to play. I am not going to be able to build the XL variant of the Galarian one, but maybe we can still see some content with this Pokemon eventually on this channel. Here we have to see. Thunder Punch is coming through here from the Shadow Claw variant of Typhlosion. Shadow Claw is also going to be way better against the Skeledirge here, which really helped us out as well in this scenario. We're gonna get out the opponent's Mandibuzz, and I can stay in here, I can let the move go through, and I can just go ahead and go for one more charge move here. The Thunder Punch is going to be able to put them down to a range where one Moonblast is going to be enough to knock them out. And just generally speaking, I can get a ton of energy here. And as we got some damage onto that Skeledirge, I should be kind of in a position where it is fine to even go for a Moonblast to knock them out. And so we are in a very solid spot here in this matchup. We kind of maneuver ourselves around quite easily. And again, of course, we still have that Rapidash lurking in the back there. Having access to a Flame Charge is going to allow us to hopefully sweep endgame with it. Here we're going to be able to get the knockout. And it comes the Skeledirge, and I can reach that Moonblast in time, but we also still have one move stored on our Typhlosion. We're gonna go for a trick here as well. We decided to go for 2 fast moves, which puts us at 4 turns, -1 turn for swapping. We win CMP tie, and this is going to be it here. This is going to be a CMP tie where we're gonna have such a huge advantage now. Like, this was such a nice swap to basically catch the move, but also win the CMP tie and force the shield from the opponent. Speaking of forcing the shield, they force the shield from us here as well, but we have a ton of energy, and that energy is not gonna go to waste, as they're going to have a reason in the back, and I know at this point I guarantee win this battle, as I have no even way to get to a Stone Edge here. There's one Pokemon that beats the entire team, and that is Nidoqueen, and there is not a lot that I can do about it, unless I can play around it. But playing around when you get hard-walled in the back as well is a bit of a tough one, I have to say. Definitely not really easy, but it might still be possible. Let's find out here. We're gonna try our best to go for some Thunder Punches. Maybe get a shield here from the opponent. This would be kind of nice. Let's see what the opponent is gonna do. They actually decided to go for a shield, which is very, very cool for us. We can use a shield as well, and we should be able to fully farm them down at this point. This is our only way of really coming back from this matchup as well, because we're now shieldless, and we still have to hit that blast spray against the opponent. Please let the move go through here. They didn't, and so I have to hit a charge move here, but I'm fairly certain they cannot speed me and get to the Earth Power in time, which we will see here as well. They are going to be able to do exactly this, and so sadly, Nidoqueen is just going to be able to sweep me here. Nidoqueen is not really a common Pokemon though, and so that's going to be fine. We're going to have a Weezing in the lead here. That is not ideal, but this Pokemon, if you didn't see the video about as well, is going to receive the Shadow update very soon, which is going to make it a bit better in certain matchups, a bit better and a bit worse in other matchups. Definitely check out the video towards the Shadow Galarian Weezing as well on the channel. But yeah, we're gonna see here that we can still get to another Blast win against the opponent's Toxicroak. Do they know about this? They do, but we have now a 2-shield advantage, and usually Toxicroak is not running Sludge Bomb. They're usually running Mud Bomb plus Shadow Ball at the current meta, and so I am gonna risk it. There is time still, back in the day at least, where you would run Sludge Bomb the entire time on it. Now Shadow Ball is a bit preferred, but like you would still see it sometimes, and so we are still kind of lucky here that we are going to be able to take those hits. But now we have a 2-shield advantage, Rapidash in the back here, and Rapidash with 2 shields advantage is ridiculous, as you have so much damage output here. I decided to use a shield. The next one I'm most likely gonna let go through if they're gonna still decide to go for another one here, but they catch the move onto a Drifblim, and I make a bit of a mistake here, actually in 2 kind of ways. First way is that I decide to go ahead and go for the Flame Charge, and I actually want to go for the Wild Charge. I don't know why I did not do this here, to be fair, but it is what it is. And now they can go for a charge move. This is clearly just an icy wind, so I should let the move go through. It's going to be debuffed, or like also resisted, but I decided not to do that, and now I have to hope they can still survive this hit from the opponent while knocking them out with a 1 Wild Charge. It's going to be that overheat, and we can still survive it and get them on the move, but I think even with that overheat, we would have been able to win this battle maybe with our last Pokemon, the Clefable. Next opponent is going to be a regional winner here as well, Human Catcher Bug. yeah, that is going to be always a bit of a trickier one if you battle against a regional winner. That is quite ridiculous, but we're gonna see they are running my favorite Pokemon, Greninja. I love that, so shoutouts to you. Definitely enjoy battling Greninja, but our team at least has coverage, and they allowed me to get 2 shields from them early on, which is a huge advantage for us, especially as we are going to be able to take those hits on our Clefable. But we might just have to rely a bit on our Rapidash later again, as the opponent swaps out now to the Tentacruel. Tentacruel can be a tricky one for this team as well, but you have Shadow Claw, Thunder Punch, Typhlosion, and you have Wild Charge on your Pokemon in the back. And so I actually do think that the Swift damage here was important to put them into range for 1 Wild Charge of our Rapidash. And so I hope that we're going to be in a position where we can go for a double Wild Charge and knock them out here with just the first one already. We have to knock them out with the first one in order to have a chance here in this battle, and we cannot knock them out. And now both Greninja gonna die from 1 move, as well as also the Trevenant is gonna die from 1 move, but I need an extra fast move here in order to outspeed the Trevenant. I will be able to go for another charge move here as well. It is going to be the Wild Charge, and now I need 2 more to get up to that, or 1 match to get up to the Flame Charge, which is going to be enough to knock out the opponent's Trevenant. At least it's what I thought, but it wasn't, and so they can still go for another charge move, but we still have enough health on our Rapidash, and so we can completely destroy the opponent just with the Rapidash here. Next opponent coming through, Drapion. Drapion can be also a bit of a trickier one, depends on the moveset though, because if they run Awkward Tail plus Crunch, your lead matchup with the Clefable is actually quite nice. If they're running Sludge Bomb, your backline matchup is actually kind of okay as well for you. So it is a tricky Pokemon, but it's not an impossible Pokemon to win. And so let's see if they're running Sludge Bomb or Awkward Tail. They're running Sludge Bomb, which is a bit trickier to play in this kind of scenario, but it is what it is. We can still use a shield here against the Crunch coming through. We are gonna see that we don't get a debuff, which is very important. And we can use another shield here against another Crunch. We are still in a very difficult spot, to be fair, but we are trying our best to kind of come out of this one, as we are going to be able to hit that Wild Charge against the opponent's Feraligatr, doing so much damage. I could have mostly stayed in as well, but I decided to swap out here, try to get some energy on both of my Pokemon as I swap into their Talonflame. Talonflame's moveset can be quite tricky. Like, it's a 50-50 chance currently, I feel like, if they're running Brave Bird or Flame Charge. If they're on Flame Charge, this would be way better for us, because Brave Bird can be a bit tricky later on. Our Rapidash is for sure not in range for a Fly yet, but for sure in range for a Brave Bird, and so it all might depend on if they run Brave Bird or not. They decide to catch the move here on a Drapion, which is totally fine. Could have maybe also went for some extra fast moves there instead, but they decided to go for the charge move. Now, is it a Brave Bird? It sadly isn't, so we lose a battle. It's a 50-50 to be fair, like in certain ways. Like, they could have also stayed in and tried to risk the CMP tie. All of those plays kind of could have worked out also in my favor. Well played by the opponent though. It's just kind of the end of the day, kind of like who is in whoever's head basically, and also who has the better kind of charge moves there in terms of the opponent having the ideal charge move combination, which is again like more of a 50-50 chance right now. A lot of people still really like Flame Charge on Talonflame, which I also kind of do agree with. Both movesets are kind of equally good, which is kind of something that I like to have, by the way, a bit more often on Pokemon. I feel like a lot of movesets are just so easily to predict that I feel like it is kind of cool to have Pokemon that have kind of different playstyles, but they are both kind of as common as each other. And I feel like Talonflame is kind of the only Pokemon that is kind of like this currently, but for sure, both Brave Bird as well as Flame Charge do make a lot of sense. Also, what does make a lot of sense here is to get up all of those Thunder Punches against the opponent. We're gonna see the swap out into the Feraligatr and make a mistake here. What I should have done is I should have not went for the charge move, but swapped out into my Clefable, went for a charge move there, and then I would still be able to win the CMP tie afterwards. And this is actually a ginormous mistake, which is going to completely cost me the game, because I don't have enough health and like enough Pokemon basically to still have a chance here. And so this was a very silly mistake by me, and could have definitely allowed me to win the battle there. Next opponent is going to be Andrus96. If you are playing in the Play Pokemon tournaments and whatever, or if you follow this kind of stuff, then you definitely know this name as well. Very, very great battler from Spain there. Yeah, definitely very, very strong for sure. Battled her as well, I think twice in one tournament. One time I won, one time I lost, but yeah, very, very good battler for sure there. We're going to see the Brutal Swing coming through from the Weezing. They try to play this matchup out a bit more than I kind of wanted them to do, but it's going to be fine. We can overfarm by a bit as well. Now we're going to have another Wild Charge, and we still should be able to always realign after having a great lead matchup for us with the Poliwrath against us. I tried my best to go for the Wild Charge. I was not lucky to get the move go through, but they're going to have a Drapion in the back, and I decided to go for the bait here. Not going to go for the Moonblast, just go straight for the Swift there and get the shield, as I can now swap out and call the bait here. If they have Crunch, I still survive. If they have Awkward Tail, I still should survive. Awkward Tail a bit more awkward because I get there a bit faster, but like this, I can basically guarantee the win here, unless the opponent is going to be able here to get a debuff with Scald and basically get to 2 Scalds on time against my Clefable. It is a bit more tricky for them to get this done, but they actually get way more energy than expected here, and now they just have to hope that the 30% chance is going to happen for them, and we will see the debuff coming through, and with this, the Moonblast is not going to be a one-shot anymore. The Moonblast is going to put them into range where I can still go for a farm down, and it's going to work out for us, and so we can win this final battle. Thanks all for watching. Hopefully you had a great community today of definitely a Pokemon that you want to have for the Ultra League, and we might be going to take a look at this Pokemon for the Great League as well on this channel, so stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.